Newt Gingrich is going to attempt to slam John Kerry here for talking about climate change, but what he's really going to do is walk into a trap set up by Van Jones and make an ass of himself.
A real Secretary of State would focus on the real world. Instead, we have a Secretary of State who says the biggest threat we face is global warming. I want you to hear it again.
In a sense, climate change can now be considered another weapon of mass destruction, perhaps even the world's most fearsome mass destruction.
That statement is delusional. It's perfectly fine if you're in the U.S. Senate, which has 100 members, and any one can be randomly weird. But delusional thinking is totally inexcusable for any Secretary of State.
Well, we're going to fight today, because I think that you're wrong to jump on him about this. First of all, I've worked on this issue, as you know, for 10 years of my life. Climate change is a super serious issue. The Pentagon says it's super serious. The CIA says it's super serious. And I'm surprised that you, in particular, you are one of the most pro-science people in public life. Here you got somebody trying to elevate science to the global discourse. He's right to raise this stuff. And I think you're wrong to jump on him.
Look, if you read the actual speech,
which I have done.
We're not talking about his sentiments, we're talking about the speech. Okay, in a world where you have potential civil war in Ukraine, several thousand nuclear weapons in Russia, several hundred nuclear weapons in China, over 100 nuclear weapons in Pakistan, a North Korean and Iranian effort to get nuclear weapons, to suggest that global climate change is anything comparable to the threat of nuclear weapons?
Well, first of all,
I use the word delusional deliberately. I think it's really, literally out of touch with the real world.
Well, the Pentagon disagrees with you, and I'll tell you somebody else who disagrees with you. There's a guy named Newt Gingrich who disagrees with you. I want you to hear yourself talking about this very issue just a few years ago.
What would you say to Senator Inhofe and to others in the Senate who are resisting even the science? What's your message to them here today?
My message, I think, is that the evidence is sufficient that we should move towards the most effective possible steps to reduce carbon loading of the atmosphere.
And do it urgently, now.
And do it urgently, yeah.
Now, I love this Newt Gingrich guy. He's great. Now, I would hate, now he was talking to somebody who used to be called a flip-flopper. I would hate to think that Newt Gingrich is now competing with John Kerry for the title of flip-flopper-in-chief.
No, not at all. Look.
Newt Gingrich just got owned by Newt Gingrich. Wasn't that lovely? Look, there's a lot of stuff I want to say in response to this. So, first of all, I've gotten to the point on the issue of climate change where I don't want anybody on any news network to discuss it without an expert next to them. Like, I would honestly really like CNN and MSNBC. I know Fox isn't going to do it because they're just talk radio on TV, right-wing talk radio on TV. But I really need them to hire, like, 3 or 4 climate scientists and just have them on every show whenever anybody talks about climate science. Because it's having these laymen who don't know anything, are not researched in this, to have them go out there and give their opinion and just have verbal diarrhea on an issue that they're so ignorant about. It's really a disservice to reality and a disservice to what a news organization is supposed to be. You know, I mean, would you have Newt Gingrich go out there? Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about this new complex mathematical theorem, and first we're going to start with the x, and you divide it by pi, and you take the square root of... No, people would be like, why the fuck is Newt Gingrich talking about math? He doesn't know anything about math. Why should I respect his opinion on math? The fuck's going on here? But for whatever reason, when it's climate science, everybody sits there and like, oh, okay, what does Newt have to say? But he doesn't know anything about the issue. Why are we listening to Newt fucking Gingrich? That doesn't make any sense. So that's the first thought. And then the second thing is, look at how ridiculous that is. He says, well, for John Kerry to say that this is like a weapon of mass destruction when we have the Ukraine, a situation there, and Russia has nuclear weapons, and China's in a certain state, and North Korea is a problem, and all this. Like, he's just naming other things that are an issue. Yeah, those other things are an issue. But you know what's an issue that affects everybody on the fucking planet? Climate change. Okay, and the problem is Newt Gingrich has never read the literature and he doesn't know the effects of it. So here's some of the things that are going to happen. There's going to be increased extreme weather events in both directions. Both in certain areas, you're going to get increased cold snaps. You're going to get bigger, more powerful blizzards. In other places, you're going to get increased hurricanes, worse flooding. You're going to get tornado season gets even stronger. There's increased droughts. As a result of droughts, there's more famine. When there's more famine, food prices go up. You're going to run out of fresh water in many places, including in the Midwest in the United States, where they get their fresh water from mountaintops. When that snow melts on the top of the mountains, where are they going to get their water from? Oh, they're going to get it from underground. But guess what? The fracking companies destroyed the underground water from pumping carcinogenic chemicals in there, so they have nowhere to get the water from. There's going to be wars over water in the future, guys. But see, these are the things that idiots like Gingrich and Republicans don't think about until it fucking is in their face. Until they go to the store and they say, why is milk $76 a gallon? What's going on here? Because you didn't give a shit about climate change 30 years ago. That's why, douchebag. I mean, there's so many issues that are associated with it, and they're just not read on them. And then finally, dude, the word is nuclear, not nuclear. That's my biggest pet peeve. I can't stand that shit. Nuclear weapons, nuclear. It's nuclear. It's not that hard to say.